My name is Ethan. I'm 29, and for most of my life, I felt like the invisible one in my family. The kind of person you remember only when it's convenient. The one who's always there when someone needs a favor, but disappears when you actually need support. I grew up in a town outside Portland, Oregon, with a mother whose words cut sharper than any blade, but whose memory seemed to erase all my good deeds. She never forgot my mistakes, but conveniently forgot the awards I won, the birthdays I remembered, and the times I was there for her. I have a younger brother, Liam, who mastered the art of perfection early on. He smiled on command, said exactly what the family wanted to hear, got excellent grades, and in return was treated like the golden child. I was the opposite, quiet, skeptical, and blunt to a fault. In a family where smiles were currency and truth was inconvenient, I never quite fit in. For years, I tried to find my place. I brought homemade desserts to family dinners I wasn't invited to. I gave thoughtful gifts at birthdays where my presence went unnoticed. I praised relatives who often forgot my name. I thought if I just tried harder, maybe they would finally see me. But by the time I turned 26, the truth hit me: my efforts changed nothing. My place at the table was never permanent. Still, the ache lingered, a deep ache that logic couldn't fully heal. Last Thanksgiving, I wrestled with whether to go. My cousin, Grace, was the only person in that tangled web of relatives who treated me like a human being. She was 2 years younger than me, but emotionally wiser than most adults in that room. Over the years, we had grown close through late-night texts and honest conversations. When she messaged me the day before Thanksgiving, saying, "You better come. I saved you a spot," I caved. Maybe for her, it was worth showing up one more time. I drove 45 minutes to my uncle's house in the suburbs of Beaverton, where Thanksgiving was always held. The typical scene greeted me: manicured lawn, a tacky inflatable turkey, and the unmistakable aroma of butter, spices, and silent tension spilling from the open windows. I parked 3 houses down, since the driveway was always full when I arrived late. Carrying a bottle of cheap wine I knew no one would drink, I walked up the front steps. Through the screen door, I saw them: my mom, my aunt, Liam, and my uncle, laughing and chatting as if they were the cast of a dysfunctional sitcom. I didn't expect a welcome, but what happened next wasn't just cold, it was calculated. As I reached for the doorknob, the door cracked open. My Uncle Mark blocked the entrance like a human gatekeeper. He didn't greet me or smile. Instead, with a smug twitch at the corner of his mouth, he said, "You're not family anymore, Ethan. You need to leave." At first, I thought it was a joke. I even laughed, expecting some punchline. But he didn't budge. Behind him, I caught my mom passing 2 plates across the table. One of the plates had a name card I recognized: mine. She handed it off, laughing, to Liam's girlfriend, someone I barely knew. They clinked glasses. My seat, my place at the table taken before I even stepped inside. Uncle Mark added, "You cause tension. Just go home." I blinked. Tension? I haven't even walked in yet. He shrugged mockingly. "Let's not make this worse than it needs to be. Just leave." I locked eyes with my mom through the gap. She didn't flinch or call him off. She raised an eyebrow and sipped her wine like she was watching some mildly entertaining TV show. For a moment, I considered making a scene, yelling, confronting. But instead, I did something even I didn't expect. I nodded calmly, turned, and walked down the steps. The bottle of wine was still in my hand as I got into my car and drove 2 blocks before pulling over. My hands shook, not with anger, but with something colder. Something final. I had seen everything I needed to see. I wasn't family to them. I was a placeholder. A scapegoat. An empty chair when they needed someone to fill space and a target when they needed blame. But I had something they didn't know about. Months earlier, I'd started preparing for this moment. Grace and I had talked about it, whispered conversations about being overlooked, dismissed, and forgotten. She saw it too, the hypocrisy, favoritism, and manipulation hidden beneath every holiday gathering. She once said if the illusion was to break, it would only take a spark. So I picked up my phone and sent a message I'd spent weeks perfecting, not a rant, not a guilt trip, just raw truth to a carefully chosen group of people in that house. 5 minutes later, as I sat watching from my car, the front door opened. Grace stormed out, face flushed with anger. Then my cousin Aaron. Then his girlfriend. Then my aunt's closest friend, the one who always brought dessert and had a soft spot for me. One by one, they left. I couldn't hear the words shouted inside, but I could guess the illusion was cracking. Grace was the first to call. Her voice was sharp and urgent. "Ethan, what did you do?" I told her I'd sent the message. She sighed, "Of course you did. Everyone read it?" She told me. Uncle Mark's face went purple. My mom pretended ignorance, and Liam just froze, looking like he'd landed on a different planet. Grace asked, "Why didn't you tell me you were recording them?" That was the thing. For months, after years of gaslighting and being talked down to, I'd started collecting evidence, recordings of conversations, saved texts, screenshots. I had proof of my mom telling Liam to take credit for things I'd done, a voice memo of Uncle Mark calling me a freeloader, and the worst, an audio from my birthday the year before when they acted like I didn't exist. The message I sent was a 5-minute compilation of family hypocrisy, with timestamps and pauses so it hit like a hammer. I sent it to 7 people: Grace, Aaron, my Aunt Linda, Liam's girlfriend, my mom's sister who'd always been on the fence, and 2 family friends who believed the family's curated story. I didn't tell Grace because I didn't want her caught in the middle. She scoffed. "I'm already in the middle, but I'm glad you did it." I was relieved. "Are you okay?" "I will be. I'm done with them." The car was silent as I watched more cars pull away from the house. A few stood on the porch, confused. My mom's voice rose above them all, shouting something I couldn't make out. I didn't need to hear it. I'd heard those words my whole life. Later that evening, my Aunt Linda called, breathless. She climbed into my car 5 minutes later, eyes wide with disbelief. "I never knew it was this bad," she said. "I mean, I knew they were cruel sometimes. But I didn't realize how deliberate it was," I said. She winced. "I saw pieces, but your mom always made it seem like you were the problem, dramatic, twisting the truth." "She didn't lie," I said softly. "She edited." Linda stared at the dashboard. "This is going to rip the family apart." "Maybe it already is," I replied. That night, messages flooded in, some angry, some apologetic, some confused. But the silence from the 3 who mattered most, my mom, Liam, and Uncle Mark, was deafening. Not one called or reached out. The next morning, I saw the post, my mom's performative Facebook rant about betrayal, misunderstanding, and airing private matters for attention. She never named me, but the comments made it clear. People sympathized with her. Some called me disrespectful. But then Grace, Aaron, and Aunt Linda started pushing back, calling out the manipulation, double standards, and sharing their own stories. The thread exploded. Some relatives deleted comments. A few blocked me. But the tide had turned. For once, I wasn't alone. That weekend, Liam's girlfriend messaged me. I didn't know they were like that. Sorry. I didn't respond. The message was enough. For the first time in years, I felt like the author of my own story, not a ghost. The Sunday after Thanksgiving, I wasn't expecting visitors when my dad knocked on my door. We hadn't spoken in nearly a year. He looked older, gray in his beard, worn leather jacket. He said, "I saw the video. Your aunt sent it to me." I waited as he sat, uneasy. "Your mom's losing it. She says you set her up, twisted everything." I told him the truth. He rubbed his eyes. "I didn't know it was this bad. I should ve said something. I should ve stepped in." He remembered the time my mom threw out my art portfolio when I was 14 months of work trashed because I'd gotten an A in science. She told him I'd drawn something disrespectful. He never asked to see it. "She lied," I said. "She edits the truth." He nodded. "I can't fix this. But I wanted you to know I see it now." I wasn't ready to forgive, but his honesty was a start. He left saying, "If there's ever a way back, I hope you'll let me take it." I didn't cry or rage. I just stood there, wondering what came next. By December, the family chat for Christmas plans was silent. Maya's last message said, "Let me know when you're ready to take accountability." No one replied. I wasn't invited. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I didn't have to fake smiles through Ava's accolades or endure my mom's mocking laughter. I was free. But I wasn't done. The recordings and truth had shaken the family's image but hadn't changed their behavior. They were hiding, licking wounds, waiting for me to fade away. So I started calling in favors. The loan I'd given Liam, I sent a lawyer's letter demanding repayment, pointing out his lies about needing help to escape an abusive relationship. I stopped paying Uncle Mark's property taxes. And on December 10th, I repossessed the car I'd been leasing for my mom for 5 years, a fact she never acknowledged. The calls came angry, pleading. My mom's last words: "So this is who you really are?" "No," I said. "This is who you made me become." Christmas Eve, I wasn't alone. I spent it with Grace and friends, making dinner, lighting candles, sharing gifts that didn't need to impress anyone. At midnight, she leaned on my shoulder. "They called me," she said softly. "Damage control, I guessed." She nodded. "Your mom said I'm choosing sides, tearing the family apart." "You are," I said. "The part that needed to be torn down." She smiled weakly. She's setting the record straight. The next morning, my mom posted another polished denial on Facebook, another act to flip the story. No names, just vague cries of pain and blame. I didn't respond. The truth was spreading. Aunt Linda posted, "Sometimes, fixing a family means admitting it's broken." More relatives and friends came forward, sharing stories and apologies. By New Year's Eve, the family was split. Some clung to old lies, others finally opened their eyes. Grace hosted a brunch with over 20 people. No Liam, no mom, no Uncle Mark. I grieved not the family I lost, but the version of myself who thought their approval mattered. I buried the guilt, the people-pleasing, the endless ache for validation. Now, I live for me.